history of the United States, 4 of the country's presidents have been assassinated. To this date, the most controversial of these tragedies remains that of the 35th president, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. On the 22nd of November 1963, JFK was fatally shot while being conveyed in a motorcade along the Texas School Book Depository in Dallas. A total of 3 shots were reportedly fired from the 6th-floor window at the southeast corner of the depository. The president was hit twice, with one being a headshot. Present in the car was the governor of Texas, John B. Connally, who was also shot but luckily survived the incident. A bullet was found in the governor's stretcher and fragments of a bullet were recovered inside the car. According to forensic ballistics, this bullet and fragments matched a 6.5mm Italian rifle which was retrieved from where it was hidden, near the 6th-floor window. This rifle was traced to a man named Lee Harvey Oswald. This man also matched the description given by an eyewitness of the perpetrator in another shooting that occurred 45 minutes after the assassination. Oswald was arrested the same day and was charged with the murder of the president. Investigators were confident he pulled the trigger, but he could have been a tiny piece of a much bigger conspiracy, and he was simply their key to getting to the bottom of this conspiracy. 2 days after the shooting, Oswald was murdered in police custody by a Dallas nightclub owner, Jack Leon Ruby, and this ultimately ruined the ongoing investigation. Due to the theory of a possible conspiracy, the sworn-in president and former vice president, Lyndon B. Johnson, set up the Warren Commission headed by Supreme Court Justice Earl Warren to investigate the assassination. The committee concluded that Oswald executed the murder and found no evidence supporting that he was in cohorts with other parties. However, this report was not met with open hands from citizens. According to a poll, 52% of people believed the assassination was a conspiracy, 29% supported the Warren Commission's report, and 19% were undecided. Let's briefly look into Lee Oswald's life, review the facts and some conspiracy theories. Lee Oswald was an ex-Marine who loathed the United States. He, however, had a unique interest in Russia and was pro-communist. His love for Russia was so deep that he once attempted to renounce his US citizenship and take up a Russian citizenship instead. A quick insight into his childhood revealed he battled psychological problems. He had chased his half-brother with a knife and landed in a juvenile center at the age of 12. He was examined by the juvenile center's psychiatrist, who ruled that he was emotionally disturbed. These psychological problems were also evident in him as an adult, as he earlier attempted to kill Major General Edwin Walker on April 10, 1963, but failed. After this foiled assassination plot, he was placed under surveillance by the FBI. At the time of the president's assassination, he was an employee of the depository, giving him easy access to the building. After gunning down the president, he killed a police officer, J.D. Tippit, who had recognized him from the news as a suspect in the shooting. Thereafter, he was cornered in a theater by local police. The first officer on the scene, Nick McDonald, claimed that Oswald attempted to shoot him, but the gun did not fire. The revolver found on Oswald when he was arrested matched the cartridge at Officer Tippit's murder scene. Unfortunately, Oswald was murdered before police could obtain tangible information to help with their investigation. His death left them with no choice but to analyze the shots fired to determine the basis for the shooting. According to the report released by the Warren Commission, 3 shots were fired. The first bullet missed. The second one hit both the president and governor, and the third bullet struck the president in the head. The second bullet generated a lot of controversy because of the unique theory it was given. The commission claimed it was a magic bullet that had entered the back of JFK's neck and exited through the front. The bullet then entered through the right side of the governor's back before exiting below his nipple. Thereafter, it entered his right wrist, exited, and entered his left thigh. It seemed like too much damage from a single bullet. However, the alternative to this theory is the presence of two shooters. The magic bullet theory, in this case, has been debunked by Governor Connolly and a spectator at the shooting. The governor stated during an interview with Life magazine in 1966, "There is my absolute knowledge, and Nellie's too, that one bullet caused the president's first wound and an entirely separate shot struck me. Since the shooter couldn't have fired two shots within that second, the governor's statement supports the theory of two shooters." James Tague, a spectator, claimed he was hit by a fragment of curbstone that shattered as a result of being struck by a bullet. He added that the shot that hit the curb was the second one. This means either Tague was wrong or more than 3 bullets were fired, which would support the two shooters theory. The case was re-evaluated in 1976, following the formation of the House Select Committee on Assassinations. The committee was to look into the assassinations of both JFK and Martin Luther King Jr. after there were claims that the CIA had withheld vital information from the Warren Commission. This committee's findings were majorly based on a sound recording from the microphone of a policeman who was believed to have been in Dealey Plaza, a building facing the depository at the time of the shooting. Scientists hired by the committee disclosed that 4 gunshots were heard over the recording, with 3 of the shots from the depository and 1 from a grassy knoll adjacent to the depository, thereby accounting for 2 shooters. Ultimately, the committee reported, "The committee believes, on the basis of the evidence available to it, that President John F. Kennedy was probably assassinated as a result of a conspiracy. The committee is unable to identify the other gunman or the extent of conspiracy. The committee's findings shifted attention to a conspiracy rather than a sole perpetrator, as initially speculated. Since then, several conspiracy theories about the assassination have emerged. Let's examine a few of these theories. The most prominent of the theories is one pointing fingers at the CIA. The CIA planned on assassinating Fidel Castro, and could have needed the president dead to accomplish their aim without the fear of getting disbanded. Likewise, they already developed ill feelings toward the president because he changed their personnel after the failed Bay of Pigs invasion in Cuba. Why not just kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Avoid getting disbanded, and kill your adversary in the process. The presence of former CIA head, Allen Dulles, in the Warren Commission makes this theory more believable. Remember, there were claims the CIA had hidden information from the Commission? Dulles could have been their inside man in the Commission, who helped distort information. The CIA's involvement runs into the next theory. The Umbrella Man theory suggests that a bystander holding an umbrella during the shooting was hired by the CIA, alongside Oswald, to murder the president. It was particularly suspicious because it was a sunny day and he only opened the umbrella when the motorcade passed by him. This theory proposes the idea that the umbrella was a spy weapon that could shoot poisonous darts, and this accounts for the hole found in the president's neck, which the Warren Commission reported was from the first bullet. Also, the man sat down by the curb unbothered while other people ran helter-skelter after the shots were fired. Another plausible explanation are the mobs. The president's brother, Robert Kennedy, was an attorney general at the time and had waged a war against organized crime syndicates. The mobs could have retaliated by murdering his brother. 3 mobs claimed responsibility for the assassination then, namely the Chicago mob, Miami mob, and New Orleans mob. Equally supporting this theory is the killing of Oswald by Ruby, who was a nightclub owner. He had ties with crime syndicates and could have been hired to kill Oswald to prevent him from confessing to the police. In 2015, an imprisoned ex-mafia hitman claimed to be the second shooter. He claimed the assassination was a collaboration between the CIA and the Mafia. The next theory named Vice President Johnson the head of the conspirators. The reason stated was a power tussle, which stemmed from him losing the Democratic nomination ticket to JFK. There were also reports that he felt like a figurehead in his position as the vice president and had requested permission to resume his role as a Texas senator. The most damning piece of evidence is the statement given by a woman, Madeline Brown. She claimed to have been at a party with Johnson the night before the murder. She said he whispered to her, "After tomorrow, those Kennedys will never embarrass me again. That's no threat, that's a promise." On the flip side, there are some arguments disproving these claims. The night Madeline claimed to have attended a party with the vice president, he was on a trip to Texas and his movements were monitored. This also meant that this encounter could not have occurred in secret. And why would he carelessly blurt out a secret plot to murder the president? Besides, no evidence connects him to the assassination except her testimony. Umbrella Man turned out to be an individual named Louis Stephen Witt, who appeared before the Senate committee to debunk the spy weapon claims. He said the umbrella was just a protest against JFK's father, who supported appeasement. The umbrella is a signature of the former Prime Minister of England, Neville Chamberlain, who promoted appeasement during his administration. Witt claimed he merely intended to make the Kennedy family uncomfortable with the umbrella. The most recent attempt to shed light on the events of the assassination was in 2015 during Trump's administration. Classified CIA documents pertaining to the case that were stored in the US National Archives were made public. To everyone's disappointment, it included no new detail that could have been helpful to the investigation. Who conspired to assassinate John F. Kennedy? It seems like we may never know for sure. However, we would like to hear your opinion. Do you think it was a conspiracy or a one-person job? And if you think it was a conspiracy, who do you believe ordered the hit? Please let us know in the comments section. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.